The Bamboo Project podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project podcast. My name is DonivanG, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself, and not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanG, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 500 videos on our channel. Do you want to see our real estate journey? We got that. Do you want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Do you want travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. Makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. Turo? Got it. Candles? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that do not make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at DonivanG, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anetaburn, Anetaburn. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 3, page 145. Okay, all video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Tuesday, December 27th, and it is 2:38 p.m. Before we get to the topics of the day, we start off with screen time. All right, that's when I check my phone to see how much time I spent on it last week, so I can keep an update for every single week, and I know if I'm getting better or getting worse or where my time is going. Okay, so last week, every day I spent an average of 9 hours and 27 minutes on my phone. So for YouTube, that was 17 hours and 36 minutes. For Instagram, that was 11 hours and 8 minutes. And then Safari was 9 hours and 56 minutes. Let's just call that 10 hours. So YouTube, if it's 17 hours, how many is that per day? 17 divided by 7. It's about 2.5 hours a day on YouTube. And then for Instagram, I'm thinking about probably like a 1 hour and a half. Now, if I was to go to the categories, I spent 21 hours on social, which would be Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and messages, and TikTok for an hour. That don't even sound right. Why was I doing it for an hour? That's tough. They got me. Productivity and finance for 11 hours and 50 minutes, and entertainment for 17 hours. Entertainment is just YouTube, pretty much. I was not on Patreon. Was I on Patreon? I feel like I wasn't on Patreon. I picked up my phone on average 110 times a day last week, which is down from the week before. And my first used app after pickup was Instagram with 135 pickups. So what was your screen time for last week?
So I'm gonna preface this. Wait. I fell asleep.
That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks.
3 days.
I feel like the second week in a row.
3 days. I fell asleep with my phone on.
I feel like 2 weeks in a row.
It's 3 days.
No, 2 weeks in a row.
It's 3 days. And
you said that last week.
Preface that. I'm gonna preface my statement with that. So it says that my average for last week was 13 hours and 5 minutes. That's what it says.
It's a lot of time on your phone.
My number one app is settings.
Listen, I don't know what's in your settings that it was probably one of those fake apps that you click on and it's actually not settings, it's actually something else. So how long?
48 hours.
Wow, yeah, I don't know what's in, I gotta check my settings. Maybe there's an app in there that I don't know about. Let me see.
So that's how I know I fell asleep.
Oh, that's how you know you fell asleep.
With my phone on.
How come it's always asleep with your settings? Why is not asleep with nothing else?
Okay, so there's this game that I be playing.
Here comes the truth.
There's this game that I be playing.
It's in the settings.
No.
Oh.
And in the game, it's like kind of timed. Like when you update something, you have to wait like 24 hours or something like that to get the update. So I just be skipping the time forward. So if I'm playing a game and I skip the time, but then I have to go back into settings to put the time back, or the game won't work properly.
And then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Every time. Every night.
I be playing the game before I go to bed.
Sound like the game is called settings.
Oh my god!
So sound like to me.
48 hours on settings. Then I spent 19 hours on TikTok, and 10 hours on Instagram, and 6 hours on cooking diary.
But you really don't be on YouTube. That's crazy.
What is on there for?
Bro, that's crazy.
Do you see my YouTube, my quote unquote YouTube?
Listen,
account?
you could go and find.
Do you see my YouTube account?
You could still go and find like cook. You could Google or YouTube.
Do you know how hard it is? Honestly, I understand why the algorithm is so important. Do you know how hard it is to find stuff with like on an account that is not tailored to you? It's very hard.
What if you just search it?
The search still brings up things that they think the person would like. So even if I search lollipops and bubblegum drops, they'll show me 10 videos of that. And then they'll put a line, and then they'll just put money and science and podcasts, things that Melissa don't watch.
But you got 10 videos of lollipops and bubblegum drops. I feel like that's 10. That's a lot. And now you got to find the right lollipop bubblegum drop channel.
I'm trying to sneak back to my old YouTube channels, but then they have ads.
Oh, damn. That's tough.
Right. So
that's
right now I'm just stuck.
It's a struggle. So, subscriber check. Now, as I said probably a week ago, and I probably said this maybe the week before, probably not. Probably mostly the last week. Our subscribers have been going up. Not like they were before, but it's going up a little bit. Right now, we're at 6,254. As I refreshed it, we got one more. And our views are up to 10,000 in the last 28 days. And it's like, check out YouTube trying to push our channel again. Listen, we were doing 50,000 views for like 7 months out of the year, like per month. Subscribers were at like 300 to 600 a month, and now we're at 74. Everything is gray and down. But the last two podcasts have been, I've been podcasting, so Sunday, because there's a lot of traction on the last podcast. So I would hope that everybody on Sunday, is that when the first is on Sunday?
I have to check.
I would hope that everybody pulls up to the live to exercise their grievances that they have about Pop-Tarts and about anything else, because I love to converse and hear everybody's point of view. I would love to see if anybody has any type of good ideas that I can implement. Probably not, but I would love to hear them at the least, right? So that's going to be on Sunday. This video should come out on Friday, hopefully. So when you hear this, it'll be Friday, and then we're going to be there Sunday doing a live. Now, on that live, right, this is our first topic, obviously. On the live right now, the plan is recap our last year. So kind of look at the whole, the year. We might look at a portion of the video from last year to see what I said in that video, and Melissa as well, just so we can kind of go through it. Then we'll write out what our plan is for the new year, whether it be expenses, how much money we want to make, how we're going to attack the new year. We're also going to we're actually also going to create the M Bur Candle channel that day. So everybody that's on here, all right, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nobody commenting. I don't want to hear nobody liking nothing if you're not going to be subscribed to that other channel. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm going to ask you, hey, I'm going to check the subscribers, and I'm going to see, oh, you ain't subscribed? All right, it's a dub for you. So we're going to do that on Sunday. And I told this last week where we're going to be doing weekly vlogs on that channel, as well as a lot of other candle related content, whether it be us going to the fairs, us doing numbers, our update, our studio, candle stuff, / small business growth. That's going to be what that channel is for. What else is doing that live? Oh, we can also have the very heated and very I don't know what I would even call it. I would call it the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what I would call it. We could have the Pop-Tart conversation with everybody on Sunday, because like I said, last week's comments podcast, everybody was like, was not with the Pop-Tarts. I guess, like I said, that was the final straw with the Pop-Tarts. So that would be a fun conversation to have. And then I think I wrote it down. What are the things you want to do for the live? Do you remember?
Yeah, like you said, plan for the new year. Yeah, I think goals are like a part of that. Set the channel. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah,
I'm not sure where it's at, but like I said, we're gonna be on live for a few hours, chatting it up. I might, probably just going through maybe spreadsheets, creating new ones, just getting our life in order. House updates for anybody that obviously, if anything changes between now and Sunday, because this video will go up on Friday.
We'll be talking and like brainstorming.
Right.
So it's going to be a lot of the conversations that we normally have, behind the scenes. We'll just have on the live in front of all you guys.
Yeah. So, and then if you're in the Discord, that's the best place if you want to get in the live, or if you want to talk, because the YouTube chat is cool, but unless the OBS allows you to have them both on there, I think Discord chat is better. So, if you're writing in there, we'll be able to see you more than if you were writing in the YouTube chat. So just a heads up for everybody.
Do you know what time you want to go live?
I feel like probably in the afternoon, because of everybody who's like on the West Coast and stuff.
Okay, so like
probably like 2. Yeah, I think like 2 or 3. Like I said, because some people 3 hours behind, 4 hours behind. So I think, that is how Sunday is going to look. So that was topic number 1. All right, the live on Sunday. Topic number 2 is the house. All right. So right now with the house, the last update you guys had was about the renter, and the renter, I had said to them, yes, that we want to approve them as a renter. I'm like, okay, you know what? We need the money. It's $1,650. It will cover the monthly payment for the loan, and we no longer have to worry about that. And then hopefully we can refinance it and then just go from there, right? That would have been a huge relief financially every single month, or burden that we no longer have to pay for. Even though she was a very risky renter, there was a lot of red flags that I noticed. It seemed like you guys felt were red flags too. Some family I talked to also thought it was red flags. Some friends were like, that's not a good idea. However, I think that there's one thing about risk, is that it's relative to your situation, because I think that the less someone has, the more risky they are. And I think there's probably some type of proportion to it, like some type of ratio, or kind of a ratio, I don't say gap, but like a gauge. And when you don't have money, you make riskier decisions because you don't have money. I feel like people who have a lot of money make, safer decisions because they don't want to lose it. So it was a trade-off between whether or not we put them in, and take whatever comes with it, or tell them no and then carry the burden ourselves. So after I told the agent to tell her it's approved, we're going to take her as a renter, she responded back and said that she already put a deposit down on another property. Well, another rental. So that could be God looking out and saying this is not the right thing to do, which is fine. My problem is this though, right? It's very hard to know when a mistake is being made or not being made. You only have what is it called?
Hindsight bias?
Yeah, like once it's already made, then you have the hindsight bias as to what was a good decision or not a good decision. So unless I was able to track her down to where she moved to and talk to that person who now owns that property and find out what kind of renter she was, I'll never know whether or not she was a good renter. And that's the hard thing about weighing something that's risky or not, because you can't really identify the risk, and you don't know if you're losing out or not losing out because you don't see the other side. And that's one of the crazy things that I think that comes with risk, because there is a possibility that she could have been in the house, been a great tenant, right? And we got our money every month. And as I say it, it doesn't sound realistic, but it's a possibility. And I would say maybe that's a better way to look at it, as opposed to it being binary, like good or bad tenant, or yes or no, or will work or won't work. It's my favorite thing is I feel like it's called quantum. It's like a more quantitatively looking at it. Maybe that's the phrase, but it's not yes or no. It's how much. So what are the odds? How high are the odds that she would have been a bad renter? Are they more than 50%? I would say probably yes. And at that point, it's like, okay. But see, that's the tough part, because that's only weighing the positive. That's only weighing the downside and not the upside, because we already know how bad it could be, but we don't know. Well, that's another thing too, which I learned with the house. You never know how bad it could be. That's what I've learned. That's what the house has taught me. Even if we had said the house will be done no later than September, October of last year, and that was after the renovator, or what they call them, the general contractor. That's when he told us it should be done by like June or August. We're like, okay, we bought it in March, it should be done by June or August. Worst case scenario is done by September, October. Fine. August start rolling around, be like, all right, you know what? I can see it going to November, December. Like, worst case scenario, we in January. Like, we don't know. Mind you, this is after we already got the okay that's gonna be done by June. We're past June. We're like, okay, it'll be done by September. We're like, all right, we'll give you the January, because we feel like that's when it'll be done. January come around, it's not done. We're like, all right, we got definitely be by March. By March, we for sure gonna be done. March roll around, it's not done. You're like, all right, okay, by August, for sure, it'll be done. August come around, the house finally done. You could not have told me that it would take a year and a half to renovate that house. So that's one thing that I have realized from the house, is that even if you plan the downside, I feel like the downside is way more realistic and practical than whatever the upside is. That's my assumption. Like, it's more likely for the worst thing to happen than for the best thing to happen. So the best thing for the house would have been, it's done early, right? Imagine this is how crazy this sounds, right? The best case scenario would have been, it's done earlier than he told us, for less than he told us, and if we sell it faster than expected for more money than we planned. That is the upside of like, oh yeah, this is way better than I thought, right? And then the downside is where we are at right now, which is like, it took way longer, it took way more money, it took way longer to sell, all that, and it sold for way less. And you start looking at the sides, you go, which one of these is more likely to happen?
But why do you think that happens?
What happens?
Like, that things are more likely to end up going that way than the other way.
Because there are so many variables for it to go that way than for it to go the other way. So for it to go the other way, everything has to be 110% perfect. Like, and that's very unlikely.
Yeah.
How likely is it for things to go wrong? Very likely. How likely is it for it to sell late, take more money to spend, take more money to renovate? Like,
I feel like things like that happen, funny enough, like with more experience. So when you have your contractor that you've been working with for 10 years, when I guess COVID comes around and now prices are, what happened? There was something that happened because of COVID that people, I think it was the interest rate was very low.
Back last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have your contract that you had for 15 years, interest rates are low, so now everybody's buying houses, and now the houses are selling for overpriced. So last year.
But that's the thing though. Even with the people that renovated their house last year who are experienced, they probably still ran into problems. Like they opened up the wall and something was there. They tried to sell it and maybe one of the buyers was like, that's too much. Like it wasn't like perfect. Perfect is
saying, but I just think the probability of getting to perfect, like getting that, it's done quicker. It's done quicker. You also with more experience, you could probably, I don't know the warning signs that if the branch on top of the house is leaning a certain way, now you know that it's a good house. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the more experience you have, the closer you get to doing the perfect.
That's the thing. I don't think you ever reach perfect. And that's the point, because I think that it is very possible to have the worst scenario happen. Mm-hmm. It's almost impossible to have the perfect scenario happen. And that to me is it's already an uneven playing field, because even if you are super experienced, been doing this for decades, have the best contractor, have the best loan agent, you're still going to have problems. They're not going to be as big, but you're still going to run into some problems. So even if you have all that experience, you're still going to have issues. So now where are you when you have none of those other things? You have no experience. You have no timing of the market, if you can really do that. You have no money. You have no relationships. And you're like, okay, where am I gauging I'm going to fall on this spectrum? That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that is a crazy, I think it's just funny to look at it because that's not a numbers thing. And that's kind of one of the topics I had today, is that it's really, I think it's really in the better interest to monitor things not by money, but by intangibles. I think that's better. I forgot who had commented that made me kind of think about this. It might have been yesterday. Yeah, I can't find the comment that triggered this thought for me. Figuring out the intangibles of money is important, because how do you quantify people and them giving you money or connecting with an opportunity, like things like that? You can't put a number on that. So an example would be Warren Buffett, right? He talks about how when he is looking at whether a company is good enough to invest, it's not always about the numbers per se, but a lot of it is the intangibles of what kind of person is running the company. How much experience do they have in running the company? How they do in their last company? Do people like them in their last company? Like what kind of character do they have, or what is their message? None of those things are how much dollars they made. None of those things fall into that category. There are companies right now that if you were to look at just the balance sheet, like, oh, they're making a lot of money. That doesn't mean that people are going to invest in them, especially Warren Buffett specifically, just because they are making money. I think it falls into a lot of other categories, like I said earlier, when you think about weighing what risk is. So Warren Buffett might see FTX and go, wow, they had a 400% return last year. I shouldn't invest in them because they're doing well. But when you look at all the intangibles, like, okay, this guy is new. This doesn't really have any actual inherent value to it. Yeah, I don't really think I'm investing in this. And then you end up seeing the thing collapse. So another example is Alex Hormozy. If people are looking at money as numbers, then you would tell Alex not to make a YouTube channel, because he makes way more money outside of the YouTube channel. Right? He spends more money on the channel than he probably makes. That's my assumption, because he has a team doing it. But because it's not a financial decision, there are different parameters to look at it by. And that's what I want to, I think during the live, I'm going to try and find more ways to look at money from that perspective, because like I said, I think looking at it just by the numbers standpoint, there's a missing piece to that. So another example for the whole Alex thing, financially, it may look like it's a bad decision, right? In terms of, hey, you're spending more money than you are making. But you can't quantify what happens if another brand says, you know what, I really like how Alex is promoting himself on YouTube. I think that I want to pay him $1 million to do my channel, right? But you can't quantify that reach that you get from doing that. Or if somebody says, hey, you know what, Alex, I really like what you've been doing, partner with me on this new brand that I'm creating. Or, which is kind of more so what he really wants, if a company that is doing well sees him and goes, hey, I like what you're doing, you taught me so much, I wanted to work with you, can you buy a share of my company? And now he makes $10 or $20 million a year from that company. You can't quantify that over what he was doing on the channel, how much money he put into the channel. So because it's not something you can really quantify, I think that it's low on a totem pole of how important it is. Okay, so next topic is somewhat house related. It is about the Zoom call I had with the people who invested into the house. So here's what the final decision was with everybody that has put in to help us finish the house. So there were 4 people there. There was 4 people there, right? And it seems like the majority of people are okay with selling the house at a very low amount. Tori was not a fan of the foreclosure option, but getting rid of it, he's more or less okay with. My sister was like, I don't even care about the house at all. As long as I'm getting paid back. If the candles, that's fine. So now we set up a payment plan with her. And then my mom is telling me that I should look into non-profit organizations that either help domestic violence abusees, which I feel like it's never men, but I think that's just unrelated, but help people like that, or to help I think she said immigrants or homeless people, like companies that buy shelters or buy housing and then will put people into those places. That I should call them and see if they would buy the property, and put some money in there, put some people in there, and then we get our money from the house. So that's one option that she was suggesting. And then my aunt was leaning somewhat to that direction. She was saying that she agrees with me on the fact that going the government route of trying to find a buyer for the house, I feel like is a lot. That's what my mom was suggesting. I feel like when dealing with the government, it's always slow. It's always very methodical, and it takes a very long time, and you have to go through all this paperwork. And I don't think that any of those things is those working with the government to buy the house, I feel like is the slowest option. But it's on the idea list. So I'm going to call some people to see what they say. My other issue with them is when you're dealing with the government, you get on the phone. Hey, we'll call, you're on hold for 3 hours. You get somebody on the phone, they go, I don't really know how to help you with that. Let me transfer you to Charles in homeless division. You transfer to Charles. He said, don't answer the phone, or you on hold for 2 hours to find out that they're going to close in 10 minutes. And you're just like, now you got to call back the next day, but you got to call back super early in the morning. So you're first to get on the phone with Charles from homeless division. I'm just like, bruh, I hate dealing with anything government related. It's just one of the most annoying things. I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. So it's on a list though. So that's that one, calling the nonprofits. And I think my aunt sent me some other one yesterday. There's that. So what I'm thinking about doing is finding a wholesaler or finding I have some buyers from when I was wholesaling. So maybe calling one of them and seeing what they'll do if they want to buy it. And then from there, got wholesalers, maybe some investors I could call in the area. But that's really it. But the general consensus is that we'll be paying everybody back from the candles, and whatever money is made from on top of the house, if we sell it for more than we put into it, then we can put that to pay people off. So anything over 167, more or less, we can help pay people off with. And my agent got 3 more days, and I'm really on the fence on the edge of saying listen, bro, this is it. That's it. I know it's been August. We have no offers on the house. And this is my thing too, right? even though the market is bad, I feel like you should be able to bring me something. Like, you should be able to say, I have an offer for you that's not very good, but here it is. Not having any offer just speaks more so to the quality of the work that's being done, because I have expressed that I'll do seller financing. I'll take the house, put it for way lower. I will knock off the price if they want to get the cabinets redone or the kitchen redone. I'm lowering the price from $300 to $250. I'm trying to get the house sold. So the fact that not one person can be found that would even say, you know what, I will do it. I will buy the house. Like, none, or even, let's not even get to that. Before we even sign a contract, someone that will make the verbal commitment to buy the house. That's it. We have not even gotten a verbal, you know what, I want to buy the house. So to me, that's a problem. And it's about the outcome. And I think that he is good at his job, but I don't think he is what we need. So I was higher on him before. I think that he would work again, similar to the old agents. But one thing I learned that I do not like is that when I have an agent that I like, that I want to work on the house, and then they have other people working the house. So they have other people showing it, other people reaching out for the house, because I don't know the quality of those other people. I don't know how good they are. I don't know if they can really sell a house. I have no idea how good they are selling the house. I don't like that. I've never met the people. It's a lot for me, because I can't trust them to do a good job because I never met them. We never talk face to face, nothing. I haven't got to read their energy, their vibe, how well they are at doing sales or anything. So that's something I learned for the house. Whenever I buy real estate in the future, that'll be something that I for sure remember. It's like, listen, who is selling the house? Do you have a team? I don't want them. I want you to sell the house. I feel like the people from $1 Million Listings, they be like, no, Frederick, I want you to sell this house. Nobody, I don't care about your team. I don't care about who your friends are. You, if you're not selling the house, you're not getting a listing. So that's how I feel right now with them. So as it stands right now, we do not have enough money to pay for the mortgage loan for this month and next month. So the plan is to just not pay and see if we can find someone to purchase it or rent it out and cover that payment. So I'm assuming we probably have about a month or so until they foreclose on the house. But other than that, unless we make more money in January.
You know what's funny?
What?
People reach out to pre-foreclosures.
Yeah. So that's where we are at right now. So I feel like with the house, it's up in the air, and I'll reach out to some people, call them and see if they want to buy it or whatever, and go from there. But as far as making payments, at this point, we are no longer making payments because we cannot afford to make payments on the house, and it is not in our best interest to do so. So I guess I'll keep you updated with what happens over the next couple of weeks. And that is it for the house update. Okay, this is a savings topic when it comes to saving money and my personal saving philosophies of prior. The reason why I never really justified saving for me is because I don't spend a lot. I don't like to buy a lot of expensive things. I don't really like to go out, especially because I'm like, let me put it like this. If I have money, I'm less likely to spend that money on things that will not make me money. So I will invest the money into things like equipment, my bike, getting dressed for a specific job. I'll invest money into, but maybe food, and even I wouldn't even say that. But for the most part, I do not spend money that out often. The problem is in the last 2 years, I haven't had any money, like any real income to spend. Like the amount of money I had to pay out was so much higher than I had coming in. So it didn't make sense for me to save the money because I'm like, I have bills to pay. So I'm going to take this money, allocate to whatever bills have to be paid. Right. So that's something that I realized over the last week when I was saving money, because now what I'm doing is I am allocating money to expenses and to saving. So now let's say I have a phone bill, let's say I have a grocery bill, and what's another bill? Maybe a laundry bill, right? Before, if I had the money, I would, let's say each one of those things was $30, let's just say, right? $30, $90. If I had $60 before, I would go, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay my phone bill, and I'm gonna buy groceries. I won't do laundry. That's what I would do before, right? And now the whole $60 that I had is now gone. But now that I'm saving, I only have $40, right? As opposed to 60, because the other 20 is going in the savings account. So now I'm paying my bills with $40 as opposed to 60. Before, it didn't make sense to not use my money to pay my bills. It just made sense to just spend it on my bills that I needed. So now there's $40. I'm going, okay, now what I can do is I can pay my most important bill, to my phone bill, right? And then I can spend the other $10 on maybe doing some of my laundry or buying some groceries. And now that I'm operating from having less, or I'm operating from mindset wise having less, because I'm only using the $40, that $20 keeps packing up every week. So now I have $20 this week I save $20 a week after that. At the end of the month, I have $80 that I saved. And I'm like, that makes so much, I don't want to say so much sense, but it's very freeing to have that $80. And then if I'm going to operate out of deprivation anyways, I might as well operate out of deprivation while also putting money to the side. And that's the core piece that I was missing. It's like this, because it's like I'm going to struggle whether I save or I don't save, because I don't have any money. So if I'm either going to spend it on my bills, or I'm going to save some to grow and pay some bills and not pay the other one, as opposed to paying all the bills and still owing money. Like, because that's the craziest part. Like, if I could pay all my bills before and still owe more bills, so I'm still broke. But now I'm still broke, still owe bills, but I have a savings. So this is another topic. It's still about the house to some degree. I actually I didn't see it on the list. So I tried to put the house on Airbnb yesterday, right? Just to see what happened. I took the pictures from off Zillow, I screenshotted it, and I put it on Airbnb. So for everybody who offered that as an idea, right? The first thing that came up was the fact that Pennsylvania requires you to have a code to do Airbnb out there. And when you try to put your house up publicly, they say, here's an application through Pennsylvania to fill out and then post your house. And then come back here once you get the number and put the number on your listing. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I've been to the school of finessing, so this seems very easy to finesse. Let me just try something out. So I put in some random numbers on there. And of course, it went through. So I'm like, So the house is technically listed on Airbnb right now. And if I was to weigh it by my risk management scale, right, I should not have the house on Airbnb for multiple reasons, right? Here's the reason why I should not be on Airbnb. One, they could find me, right? I don't know how much, but they could find me. I believe they could find me if somebody rents it. I don't know if they could find me if nobody rents it out. I don't know how that works. I would have to buy furniture if someone rented the house out, right? I would have to now take a trip to Philadelphia if someone rented the house out. I have to set up stuff in the house, like a lockbox. I got to set up dishes and whatever the stuff they might need in the house. And the pictures of the furniture do not match whatever I would buy, because I'm not spending that much money. And we don't even have the money to spend on it. And with Airbnb, I don't know if you get the money up front before the house is rented or someone books it. But if they didn't, we have to come out of our pocket to pay for all the expenses. So that's not going to happen. And then someone could trash the house. So can't have that, right? So those are all the downsides. Upsides. Someone rents the house for a very, very long time for a good amount of money and pays every single month. They do not trash the house, and they offer to buy furniture and bring their own furniture. Now, how unrealistic does that sound? Right? So if I'm weighing the two options about here's the negatives, the positives is we might make some money from this, and that's about it. Hopefully make some money. But it's going to take our time, our money, our energy, whatever headaches come with that, and possibly the risk of a fine happening. So from that perspective, when you weigh it, forget the money. I didn't even say how much money we might make because it's not important, right? That's a bad idea. But I put it up to just because I wanted to see whether or not someone would even book it. Because if someone books it, now it kind of gives more. It gives us an idea of what someone is willing to pay. It kind of establishes a value of the house. If someone decides, hey, I want to book the house at $190 for the day, or actually have a 3-day minimum. And I currently have it on instant booking off. So that means if someone tries to book it, I can tell them no. Like I said, I just want to test it out and see, will somebody rent it or not? So I'll let y'all know if somebody rents it. But after even saying what I just said, I probably will take it off of Airbnb and just try and find someone else to rent the house. Rent it out or to buy it. That's probably what I'm looking at right now. But yeah, I think that was good. I looked at the Airbnb through that filter, and it makes no sense to do that. Yep. So, and then the next topic is this, right? Every time I think about this, I get annoyed with myself, right? Because I want to do $1 million next year, right? That's what I want to do. Every single person I have said that to has either scoffed or laughed about the idea of making $1 million next year, right? And it's annoying to hear and to deal with. But the fact that I have told myself that I'll go for 500,000 is even worse to me. But right now, the dilemma I have within myself is when we first bought the house. I don't think I said it on the podcast. I might have said it more recently, but I didn't say it out loud because I wanted to test something out. When we first bought the house, we were kind of in a good position, like somewhat in a good position, because we had some money saved up from our credit cards and we were paying our bills. Our credit score was up. I think mine was close to a 7 something. Melissa had just started paying off her car, so hers was like a 6, high 6s or mid 600s. So our credit score was good. We had some money. We didn't really have any source of income yet. Melissa was still, I believe, doing like a PA work. And I think we were just coming off the tail end of wholesaling. That was where we were at the time. So we weren't in a bad position. We didn't owe really any debt or anything like that. There were no MCA loans yet. There was no renovator, or I keep saying renovator. There was no contractor. There was no house. There was no Turo. There was no car. None of that stuff existed, right? So we were still doing okay. Somewhat. Like we were on the hill about to make the I forgot what they called me, like get over the hill. We were right there. And I remember thinking to myself, like, Donovan, renovating this house is a large undertaking. I remember thinking to myself, right? And I'm like, the possibility is that, or the what you want to happen is that the house will be renovated in 5 or 6 months and you'll have $60,000 in your account. And you have the experience to bring to other lenders and say that you have renovated a house. So now it'll be easier for me to get credit from someone else, or, renovate a second house and make more money, or put that money into moving to Atlanta, a lot of different things, right? That was the plan. And I remember thinking to myself, like, is it possible that doing this can drag you down way more than you are currently at. And I remember asking myself that again, I don't know. Well, let's see. Right? And one thing I've spoken about on a podcast prior to today is that my finances usually do this, right? Like my bank account, my finances normally look like this. I have no money. I make some money. Then I lose all the money. And then I make more money than I had before. Then I lose all that money. And then I make more money than I had before. So I'll use numbers for people who are listening and just for a visualization. Okay. I start out at $0. I get a job and I make $300 a week. That's a lot of money. We have nothing. You 15, 16 making $300 a week. That's a lot of money. You save it up. Now you have $2,000 or $3,000, right? Then I'll spend all that money on whatever I spend it on. Maybe it's usually some type of investment. I might buy candy to sell or whatever the case might be, right? But now I'm back at zero. But then a couple months, a year, now I'm at $800 a week. I'm like, okay, this is going good. Then I spend all of that money, and now I'm back down to zero. Now, the most recent thing that happened with more, I would say, would be my electric bike, and it's very apparent in that space how I was going from making money to zero to making money to zero to making money to zero. So at the peak of my biking career, I was doing like $1,700 to $2,000 a week. And even let me that's full. Let me take a little step back. Before that, when I was making some money as a bike messenger, my friend and I wanted to start a grocery delivery app. And we put all our money into that. And now we had no money. But then I took the money that I did end up working again to make, and I ended up getting an electric bike. That electric bike made me way more money than I was making before, significantly more. And I took that money and I tried to invest in getting mostly into the new bike or getting a better bike or getting batteries to last longer, getting better bike parts. Because when I first started it, I had a bike that cost $3,000, but it didn't last that long. So I had to invest in getting a better bike that lasted longer, that went faster. Then I would invest in my time. So I would pay for my laundry. I can get to work faster. I would just optimize it my whole life. That was pretty much what my goal was at the time, to make as much money as I could possibly make at that job. Which was the most I ever did was probably 10 to 12 orders an hour, which is, if you ever did food delivery on a bike, that's insane. But that was me having multiple apps to use like DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber, while also taking on an electric bike, right? And obviously the streets are better. I had a whole optimized way I would lock my bike so it would be efficient, that whole thing. But I bring that up to say that I went from making that much money to, when Melissa and I moved out, we started going downhill in terms of how much money we were making. The reason behind that is because we were trying to invest in a way that we no longer had to ride the bike or go to work. So from that, we had a little bit of money that we had kind of collected, saved here and there, finessed to get our, she had, at the point, I think she had her 401k. She had took some money out of, and I had my credit card that I took money off of, and the money I had saved from, not saved, but just didn't spend yet. I took it out, and I remember going, okay, you're gonna be at zero again, Donovan, but you already know when you go to zero, you're gonna shoot up to 100,000, So that's what I thought. And we have been below zero for a very, very long time. And when we were purchasing the house, I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, that could be a thing that happens. So we tested it out, and here we are, very, very, very far below zero. And that is why when I look at the $1 million to the 500,000 thing, even though it pains me in my soul to say that I'm going to try and strive for $500,000 because my soul wants to say $1 million, I had that in the back of my mind because I think what happens is if I try to strive for $1 million, right, without the proper experience or footing or whatever else might be there, I will make decisions that are more risky to get to that $1 million by the end of the year. So my risk tolerance is very high. So to me, it's like I'll just keep doing that. But because I'm not the only one involved, with me and Melissa and people who invested in the house, that has to come into account about what kind of goals I may have, because it encompasses other people and not just myself. So like I said, even though the $1 million number is what I want to do, I am 500, like 1 million is like the over here, right? I'm looking right now at 500,000. That's what I'm looking at. And even like as I say it, my chest is tightening, but I think that is what makes the most sense to strive for, because I think we can get to that number without having to take on too much. So I was doing the math for the $1 million, right? And because at heart I'm a finesser, that's just it's just the way I am. If you give me a rule, I'm gonna find loopholes in the rule. Thanks to my sister Jasmine, who taught me that word when I think I was like 7, and that's just how I operate. So I'm gonna always try to find a way to finesse. So when I was doing the numbers, I saw that to get to $1 million next year, right, we would need to, I don't know if it was inventory included. It might have been inventory included. But between inventory and paying for the craft fairs up front, we would need $250,000. And that would be to pay for every craft fair from now to the end of the year and pay for the materials to have the candles for those craft fairs. When I look at the timing and the landscape of it, I had to ask myself, how soon could we get $250,000, right? So with lower credit, it would be harder to get it. Harder, not impossible. And with us not even having a stable footing right now, I'm looking at probably a couple of months before we're even stable enough to be able to look at getting that amount of money to do something with. So that's where I started looking at those numbers. I'm like, okay, I could try to find a way to do it, but as I saw with the house, there's a possibility that I can try to reach something that's that high and then not reach it. So like I said, it's debilitating to say it, but I am trying to. I said honestly, that's what I'll say. I'll say it's a test. That's what I'll say. I'm going to test to see what happens if I strive for 500,000 as opposed to $1 million. It's only 12 months. So let's see what happens then. Because what if we hit to $1 million next year and I strive for 500,000? You know what that tells me? Next year, I'm going to be like, yeah, I only want to do $6 million. And then we go to 10 or 15 or something like that. But that's my goal right now. It was asked yesterday. It's the next topic. Melissa, when are you starting your YouTube channel?
I already have a YouTube channel.
Oh, she already has a YouTube channel. So you want to tell everybody your YouTube channel?
It's called the Bamboo Project.
Oh, she said called the Bamboo Project, but they want your own YouTube channel. They want a Melissa Burnett YouTube channel.
Is this so? What is this channel? This is the Donovan channel. What's this one?
No, but they want a singular.
Y'all would not watch my content. Donovan. What will Melissa post on Melissa's channel?
Listen, they want you to have a channel.
Donovan, what would Melissa post on Melissa's channel?
I don't singing, video games, lives, vlogs,
food if I can afford it.
Food, how forget that one? Food.
Right, that is nothing that y'all are interested in. I would not be talking about money. I would not be talking about entrepreneurship. Those are not to say that, I'm not, obviously I'm involved in those things and that's what I, do for my livelihood. That's not the content I would post. Y'all would not want to watch my channel if I had a channel. It would literally be like, ooh, I'm cleaning my house.
They want to sit down and talk with you when you.
No one joins my live when Donovan is not there. So I don't know how y'all be having this energy in the comments and y'all don't be there in the live. Shout out to Maxine. Shout out to Sarah. Y'all be in the lives with me. That's it. It be me, Maxine, and Sarah. So, and then when I go on live, they be like, "Where's Donovan at?" And then they leave. So I don't even know why y'all capping in the comments. Y'all here for him. So.
I think when you make a strong
what? What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's a penis.
Oh, is it when what? Where'd that come from?
That's the sign they do when you talk about like you be like you gotta. That's what they say.
Oh, when I have one.
No. I was just joking.
Oh.
When I was gonna say when you like solidify, like put your feet in the ground of what channel you want to be.
What you mean?
I don't know. It's being philosophical. I mean, like I said, I am.
I think they'll be interested in the content that I make.
Well, you don't know. That's the thing. You don't know.
I literally be posting stuff on this channel, and like.
But that's.
Or like my lives.
But that's YouTube's fault.
That's YouTube's fault? I don't think so. I don't think so.
But here's the thing. Maybe if the people who wanted to watch it, they didn't know you was gonna go live. But if you had your own channel, they would know.
If I have my own channel,
they were like, "Oh, Melissa's gonna go live."
I would not like my channel. And like I don't know what y'all, because it's not going to be this. It is not going to be Melissa having a podcast to talk about what.
Did you want to? Didn't you want a podcast?
my anxiety and my.
They might like that. Honestly, people would like that. People would like to hear you talk about your trauma and anxiety, and they would love to hear. People love to hear that.
Y'all want to talk about money.
No, they don't. We don't talk about money.
Y'all want to chat about money
maybe sometimes.
And funds, and y'all want to chat about being billionaires. Y'all want to chat about owning real estate. That does not interest me. I am a supportive girlfriend.
What? What that mean? What does that mean?
You think I'd be doing real estate if we were not together?
I thought you loved buildings, Melissa. I thought you love architecture and AR. You don't love ARV?
Creative.
ROI?
I'm so supportive that I got my real estate. My appraisal.
Cash on cash return, Melissa? You don't love that?
Bro, do you remember when I tried to read the investing book and I just stopped reading?
Oh. Yeah, what's it called? What's it called?
I think it was it's not the investor.
Something. It's the something investor.
It wasn't the millionaire next door. It was like
the something investor.
The beginner's guide to investing or some shit.
It was a book by Warren Buffett, I think, that he recommended.
Oh my God, that book was terrible. I stopped reading. Nah, y'all wouldn't rock with my channel. Don't do that.
Let me see, investor.
I have it in my library.
Let's see who finds it first. I found it.
What is it?
The Intelligent Investor.
Bruh, that shit was, oh my gosh. That would not, I mean, sure. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah, I could talk. Y'all would. Yeah, like I said, yeah. Listen, we don't know. Well, I don't know. We don't know.
Sure. Okay, let me not say that you wouldn't like my channel. Just know it would not be this. So if you want to see Melissa sit down and have the if you want to hear my perspective on things, you're going to hear it on here. You're not going to see it on my channel. Or you can pull up to the Discord and maybe ask me.
Yeah, fact. Listen, in the Discord, right? Y'all got questions? Melissa's in the Discord. She is there every day, all the time. You can hit her up, be like, hey, tag her. Hey, Melissa.
Why Donovan?
Right.
Arguing with you about pop
right. You was right. Telling you was right. I agree with you. So, yeah, I think.
I told them we went to BJ's. They be talking too crazy.
Yeah, Melissa wants y'all to know that we went to BJ's. So.
Yes. And we got ramen and hot dogs and snacks for the house.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, I mean that's the snacks.
And snacks for the house?
Oh, you're right. So we got ramen. We got ramen and hot dogs and water and rum. That's what we got.
Nice hearty meal.
Right.
Hearty.
No more vending machines.
Honestly, I was gonna go. Was it yesterday? I was gonna go. What's today? Today is Tuesday. Sunday, I was gonna go. I think one of these days. I was gonna go Sunday for sure. I might go, but you know, I know y'all will be livid if I decide to go to the vending machine to get me, you know, some Pop-Tarts that cost $1.75.
You ain't gonna move me in this.
$1.75. I feel like they're $1.75. They're $1.75.
I think so.
And then, listen, the only thing to me that I find to be egregious in the vending machine is the Doritos. That's the only thing to me that I'm like, this is just robbery, because they be selling a 25-cent bag for $2 or something like that, and I'm like, bro, that's crazy.
I think it's all egregious.
I know you think that, but I don't think that, because I think how much Pop-Tarts at the store is probably per pack of Pop-Tarts, probably like 80 cents, maybe 80 cents, right?
That's 100% markup.
Sure. Doritos, the bag is 25 cents.
Like,
and they charge you, and you get, that's the thing too with the Pop-Tarts.
100% markup.
With the Pop-Tarts, at least you're getting the same amount of Pop-Tarts. You're getting 2 full-size Pop-Tarts. That bag of Doritos is a quarter, is 8 chips in there. And they're like, we can charge $2 for this. Oh, somebody's in the Discord. Who is that?
Right.
Well, that's your Discord or mine? Well, not mine, but like, let me see. Uh-oh.
That's funny. I was definitely we should get on a voice chat with them tonight, so they can feel.
It said, man, Discord slow. No Vlogmas. Amazon customer service going to shit. Bro, I just wrote something yesterday. The day before yesterday. Listen. The Discord is for everybody. All right, but like Melissa said, we're gonna be going. Let me see if he's gonna tune in.
You think you can go find Toro videos on Melissa? Spreadsheets? The wrong one.
Oh Lord.
The wrong one.
Oh Lord.
Listen. I'll consider it in terms of like what it would be about, but just know it's not going to be about money at all.
It's gonna be a lifestyle channel.
It's gonna be vibes.
Yeah, like Pretty Boy. So
No, her videos is not good.
not vibes. Aaliyah's face. I forgot even know who would you like? Would you model your channel after somebody else's, or do you just?
Absolutely not. It would just be vibes. Like, I might. Funny enough, I was thinking about it. I like psychology a lot.
Well, makeup, but yeah, okay, I'm listening.
I like psychology a lot. So I guess if I find out something interesting and I go on my little rabbit hole and my little rants, I might do it there. Just stuff. Particularly like how physical things affect your mental, like biology effects.
Like what?
The food that you eat, like the stimuli, like why do I feel sad when it rains? It's just water falling from the sky. So, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, that's not money, so I don't feel about that.
Oh man, and then all right, and then like I said, I guess Bill. Shout out to Bill. He wants more in the Discord. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, haha. Yeah, let me see. Cause funny enough, I had my sister wrote me the other day, and she was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was just like, "What? Why? What happened?" And she said, "I had noticed you haven't posted on Instagram in a while, so I just want to check if everything was good." And I'm like, "Damn, that's crazy." So I'm like, maybe this is a sign from God, right? Shout out to you, Bill. I guess God is coming not from you but through you. Okay. And maybe it's some type of sign to post more stuff regularly.
What's a post? What we posting?
What we do, but we be doing stuff in the day. Like you was applying for stuff, I was doing the spreadsheet. I could post that stuff somewhere. I could be like, oh, I'm about to look. I just saw I spent X amount of dollars on this or that or this.
So funny enough, I was thinking about posting more on TikTok.
Oh.
Just because I hate posting things for nobody to watch them. It's just like.
But that's TikTok.
Nah.
It's not? Okay.
Cause like I could get to 60 views on TikTok like this.
Oh, as opposed to
views on my story, and then it disappears. It's a waste. So I feel like so if y'all want, you can follow Melissa on TikTok. Shit, I don't remember my name.
Then you change it to like 11 numbers and
11? No. That's my burner.
Oh, that's your burner. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about posting there and using it like as a Snapchat kind of. I don't know.
Using TikTok as a Snapchat? How's that work?
So the same thing that I would post as a snap, I would just post in my feed. Does that make sense? So if I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm about to go get my Starbucks or whatever. It would be like, I guess, daily vlogs kind of, but within TikTok, because you don't have to post it once you record. I don't know if that makes sense.
So like, how long would it be?
It would still be a minute or 3 minutes, right? So it would be like, I wake up in the morning and I'll be like, all right, y'all, I'm about to do X, Y, and Z.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Save it as a draft. Whenever I get to the place or whatever B-roll I want to get, I can get it real quick. Be like 2 seconds. All right, boom.
Oh, we could do that for Vlogmas.
You gonna make them upset. And then, yeah, whenever I get to the place, or if I wanna rant, oh yeah, TikTok about to be, don't you know that Donovan and I was talking about X, Y, and Z, and this is what he said. Who's wrong? And then all the TikTok gonna be there.
Yeah, like I said, my thing when it comes to posting content is, I mean, listen, it's not really a thing. I could post more, but a lot of the stuff to me is like things I regularly do every day. It's just, hey, this is business related, so that has to get done. So updating about it, to me, I forget, because I'm like, oh, I just did this thing. Let me post about it. But I really don't be thinking like, what did I do today? Today I didn't really do much. No, today I was making up the 3-month plan for the candles from now until March, and I was writing out how much money we're gonna probably or project to make, how much money we have on hand, how much the expenses are. I was creating like a calendar on Google spreadsheets. That was most of my morning. And now we're doing a podcast. So it's like, I could record doing I could probably make a video of me doing a podcast right now. I could do that, right? So like I said, I don't be thinking about that. So that's on me. That's something I could definitely do better at. Maybe I'll make a shout out to Bill. Bill, make a video right now for Instagram. I got you. Actually, I'm posting in the Discord first.
I think it's funny because, like you said, like you said, you thought about it. It was like, oh wait, I did X, Y, and Z this morning. I'm like, shit, I didn't do nothing this morning either. And then I thought about it. I'm like, nope, I definitely spent the whole morning looking up the ERC. The employee, I think, retention credit supposed to be $26,000 per person. I'm trying to figure out how to get. I'm trying to figure out how to make pay stubs and what forms I need to file. And that was definitely my whole morning before the podcast.
You could post your TikToks in the Discord.
Yeah.
So people go like, oh, so you did today, okay.
And then I also like the TikTok idea because, funny enough, I've been playing around with TikTok a bit more, and the thing I posted last night about the PPP loan movie.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bruh, there be things that happen. There's actually a funny movie Melissa just found on Amazon called the PPP loan.
It's like PPP gone.
PPP gone. Like it's a crazy video. Like, I mean, it's a crazy thumbnail. It's just ridiculous. But maybe, like I said, that'll be something that we try to do. I have a plan that I want to do for Instagram, but it's just, we're not at that point yet. So I just haven't done it. But I guess that's not an excuse to not still post stuff, because we're still doing things every day. Like, it's just because there have been times where our peak is so high that anything that's less than that to me seems like we're not doing anything for the day. Like, I could spend all day taking photos of the candles, of cutting the wicks and melting tops and going out to my family's house and shooting a podcast, and I'd be like, that was just the regular Tuesday. Like, that's just what we do on Tuesday. It wasn't like, or editing the website or like all that stuff. I'd just be in my flow state. So I'd be like, okay, I don't want to break it, so let me just keep doing the thing. But hey, I do want to post other stuff more.
I'm thinking that's probably just what's gonna be in the weekly vlog starting next year.
Yeah, so right on the M Bur Candle page, y'all get the vlogs. Because we are planning to make sure that we only do one. We're focusing on one thing. That is the goal for 2023. Is one thing, the candles. So trying to remove anything and everything that is not about the candles. So right now the last thing we have is the house. So we're trying to get rid of that so that nothing is in the way of the candles, because within the candles there's so much. There's so much. We have 2 cents that we are going to add to the website. Right. We have wait, what?
It's gonna be 4 cents.
Right. We have 2 cents that we're going to add to the website. We still have to find the other 2 to make the collection. So right now we still have to come up with the names for them for the first 2 and the next 2. We don't even have the cents for the next 2 yet. So just trying to figure that out and take pictures for that, incorporate that, do the marketing for that, the email pictures for that, the website for that.
Promotion.
That's not even making content for YouTube or TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or anything else. It's literally just that. So I'm like, to be even trying to do something else is like, let me rephrase that. I could for sure find a way to do 5 things at one time, but it doesn't make sense to do the other 5 things when we have a thing and then we just have to blow it up. And I'm very curious to see how fast the M Bur Candle channel grows, because we know so much about YouTube now that it's like I can get to 1,000 in like a month or 2.
Bro, I was thinking about it too. I think it's I guess my favorite thing about the candles is that it's ours. Like Turo is somebody else's platform, Airbnb is somebody else's platform. Even with flipping the house, still got to pay the mortgage or kind of have to deal with somebody else in terms of running it. So I just think with the candles, like you said, we have all the ability to just blow it up, to just make it whatever it is that we want it to be. So I'm super excited for that. How long? I feel like that's a good.
What?
I don't know how long it would take for us to get to 1,000. To get to 1,000 or to be monetized.
1,000. I was thinking both, but yeah.
I think to get to 1,000, I think that we could get to 1,000 in 6 months.
6 months?
That's my guess.
Okay.
So that's what I'm waging. 6 months. What you thinking?
6 months, 1,000. Listen. We already established how I operate. So
You gonna be like, what, a month, 2 months?
that's what I already said. You said that earlier. I said 2 months. That's what I said. Yes. I said within a month or 2 months. That's what I
You
said.
know what's gonna happen? It's probably gonna be 4.
Right.
It's probably gonna be
Right. That's why I was like, I think that it's funny that you said 6, because I'm like, we have gotten 600 subscribers in a month before.
Yes, but I just think that everything literally has to be, because I just think that everything has to be aligned. So I don't know how long it's gonna take YouTube to get with the program.
I don't think it takes that long.
I don't know.
But this is the thing. We know YouTube now.
We do.
So if you look at a thumbnail that we made from when we first started to a thumbnail that we would make for the video next month,
Just put up the pink one.
right? It looks so much different. So just off of the strength of that, we know how we would edit differently. So just off of that, we could post a video right now on the candle page that will do 1,000 views.
I don't know. I would have to see. I literally, because, and the only reason why I feel like that is because it's funny. I just talked about how we're in control of everything, but YouTube is in control. YouTube will be like, let me see what this is about. I'm gonna hold off on showing it to people real quick. Let me see what's up.
Like I said, I know.
Even on TikTok, bruh, I told you I've been averaging around like 200 views or whatever per post. There's this one post that has had 3 views and that's it. And I'm like, how did you decide that? I have an idea. I think I know what happened, but the fact of the matter is that the platform definitely chooses what moves and what goes, and
Yeah, for sure. But I think that we have done enough variations or different areas and have done well in each one for us to know how to make a video get 1,000 views. We did it in wholesaling, we did it in Airbnb, we did it in Turo. The podcast maybe has one video with 1,000. We had the video with the COVID that had 1,000 with the rat.
Bruh, the makeup.
The makeup, right. I'm like,
the hair bonnet.
There's a lot of videos that we can go, oh, this is what people click on, and this is what people want to see. This is what people want to watch. And I already know if we put a video that says how much we made in our
I don't know.
Why you don't know?
Because I'm risk adverse.
What's the risk?
It's not there's no risk. That's just kind of the framework of how I set my goals and my miles.
Which is what?
Which is that I feel like it's funny. I like to kind of keep a little bit of room on my goals so I could maybe surpass them. Does that make sense? I think you like to set your goals. Like, I know I need to strive to hit this.
Yeah, sure. I would say so. I would agree with that. I think that.
So then, if my goal is 6 months and I did it in 3, I did it in 4. Oh, I'm gonna feel real good.
Oh,
that's how
yeah. I do not operate like that for sure. For sure. I definitely operate, like you said, which I think is funny that you mentioned that I definitely operate for reach for the stars and you fall in the clouds.
Right.
But within that, you may be, I think I have a very high tolerance for pain. Like,
I see what you're saying.
So I wouldn't mind being wrong every year about what my goal is. If my goal is to hit 100 million and I got to 80, I wouldn't be like, what the
Nah, see, I have a thing where I want to hit it.
Right, that's exactly.
So if I set a goal and I can't hit it, I'm be mad at myself because you need to hit the goal. Or versus like what you said, where it's like, this is my either like guiding star. This is what I'm trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
So the closest I get to it, I'll be good.
Yes, that's right. That is 100%. I think it's very interesting. That is something I just learned today. Yeah, like I said, I feel like I can go on somebody else's channel right now and make a video for them that will get 1,000 views in a month. I say in a month.
I definitely think we do have bangers for sure.
And we're gonna post every week.
Huh?
And we're gonna be posting mad often.
You're right.
Which is another thing that YouTube likes.
I can't like bet on how many people are gonna subscribe. How many people actually?
Oh, I'm gonna tell them to subscribe this time.
Oh, you tell me?
100%. I'm gonna be like, listen, you are watching this channel. You want candle content? YouTube knows what you like. Subscribe.
Because I think, I know.
Subscribe. Subscribe. I'm gonna be doing like that every episode.
Like, when I tell you, I think this year is going to be the year. I think this year is going to be amazing. I keep saying it.
Play back to 2021 when we said that same. This year is going to be the year. And then every podcast we're like, damn, this shit crazy.
Bro. But this year though. This year is going to be the year. Because I just feel like we've learned so much. And this is the first time where we're really going to be able to compound all the things that we learned. All the shit that we learned from this year, all the different markets, how much the markets cost, and all that stuff. We can really plan for it. The different grants, how to go about getting them. Like, honestly, whenever. And then what y'all. Let me calm myself down.
Oh, why are you doing that?
Because as much as Donovan be saying, what he says about credit, because I don't want to
interpret.
Skew.
Oh, which is what?
I don't want to miscue it. That's why I ain't saying it. So.
Okay, I don't. Sure.
Because I was gonna say, as much as Donovan be saying fuck credit and you hate credit, but I don't think you really be saying that.
I don't.
So that's why that's why I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah.
But either way, when the money start coming in, the credit will not be the same.
Right.
Period.
All right. And then one thing, Melissa, well, she's probably kind of mentioning right now too, is the thing or point that I was making about credit is that I don't want to say it's not as important, but because it's so easily manipulated, the importance of it is a lot lower than most people think. That's what I was saying, because The fact that you can, I'm gonna say this every time I talk about this, the fact that you can go on Experian and link your Netflix account and your score will go up shows you how ridiculous the whole idea of a credit score is at all. Because having a Netflix account does not make you credit worthy at all. Honestly, it shouldn't add no points to how credit worthy you are. Because what if you only pay for Netflix and nothing else? Why my score going up? But because I know that, you can add T-Mobile, AT&T, Netflix, a bunch of other subscriptions, and your score will go up. So, and then you can add an addition, what do they call that? Not a cosigner, an authorized user, score goes up. Like, you could pay, we could buy a car, pay it off, score goes up. So it's like, but again, I know you're about to be few. Stop talking about credit. I know you're gonna be like, Donovan. I know how y'all are. So I don't want to get the Bamboo Project family riled up.
I just think it's funny because I feel like your point. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm listening.
Your point is that I was gonna say you don't need credit, but it's having bad credit shouldn't stop you from doing whatever it is you want to do.
Right. Yes, summed it up very nicely in a red little bow. Because the whole point of having credit, like Melissa said, credit is important, but if you don't have it, there's so many ways to finesse that is not an excuse for not doing something. So not having good credit it's like that should not be a thing. Like, you don't figure out a way. There's ways to do it. That's the message.
Right. That's what Donovan be trying to say.
Mm-hmm. But I'm a little bit more argumentative than that.
Yeah.
Fuck credit. Credit ain't shit. You only know credit ain't for bitches. Only real men don't care about credit. Only hoes care about credit. Not no real man. If you what's up? Not that they don't like to say. What they might not say.
You and your damn. I don't even know who's a good one.
Credit is anti-Semitic.
That's what Donovan be saying. He be saying he is trying to say not having credit should not stop you. So when everybody's like, oh, you need good credit to do this, you need good credit. Well, look how much we were able to do without that. That's pretty much what he be trying to say.
Right.
He's just not as nice as me.
Right.
Well, honestly, isn't it so funny? Donovan is very nice. He's very nice. He's nicer than I am. But it's just, yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm nicer than you. I just say that I have more control over when I feel that someone is stupid. That's what I would say. I feel like if I'm talking to someone and I feel like what they're saying is ridiculous, I can talk to them and have that conversation. I don't feel like you are able to do that.
I think you use different words than I do.
Sure.
So you have more insults just readily available in your vocabulary, but I feel like I don't have as much patience as you do.
Okay, you can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DonivanGray, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend Anetaburn, Anetaburn. This is the last podcast of 2022. All right, isn't that crazy? I don't know what y'all thought about this year, but I know this year was so much more surprising than I had planned. When I sat in at this table in the beginning of 2022, and I was all happy and excited with a smile on my face about what was to come, you could not have told me what was to come, for sure. Absolutely not. Okay. But we will be bringing in the new year on Sunday with a live. It'll be around 3 o'clock. If you're in the Discord, you could either remind me or I'll remind you, but it'll be around 3-ish. I'm telling you, lock in. And everybody that have a problem with my philosophy, or you think what I'm saying is crazy, or you care about credit or Pop-Tarts, we're gonna be there on the live. So either be there or be a square. And with that being said, shout out to my guy Musically Challenged, the last one of the year, #Bamboo Project 2022. And with that being said,